Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Barely Normal Wet Shaver. That would be me, Doug Bear. So today what I wanted to do is start a series. These are going to be very, very short in length. And the idea is to kind of complement what Kai Triska is doing with his straight razor technique Tuesdays. My idea will be just to offer a specific thought, something that you can implement in your shaves. So this will be the first of hopefully a series of a few more coming that may give you something to think about, whether you're a beginner, especially a beginner, or whether or not you just have been challenged by something that you that this may help and enhance your abilities. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take a look at two pictures. And the theme of this specific video is pressure versus angle. So take a look at these two and we'll talk about them in just a moment. So, is that not wild of a contrast? Could there be any more opposing angles to a shave making contact with the face? You know, sometimes the dude of shaving, JR, does not always come at his face at that angle. But nonetheless, when he does, he pulls it off. He does some absolutely amazing things and gets a good shave. And compliments and kudos to that. It's just wild and fun to watch. So that is one approach. The other, I can't encourage more to anyone who wants to learn how to straight razor shave than to go and look back at some of the shave of the days of the amazing Caleb McCullough. Caleb, for me, is just one of those guys who has such a talent, and he so artfully shaves, from the way he'll angle his razor to show almost like a slant-like effect to cutting, to the way he follows through, the way he comes away from his face. If you watch him and you study him, you just learn to appreciate the little nuances. I could go on and talk obviously about Caleb quite a bit. He's also amazing with his skills and his knowledge on honing as well. So if there's any interest and you're not familiar with him, check him out. Check out the Dude of Shaving as well. But all I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about why those two approaches work with reference to angle and pressure. Pressure is something that's kind of hard to explain, but I think this might give at least a little bit of insight. It's something you have to practice and do. So if you're going to come at your face at a near 90-degree angle, which most people would suggest you not do, but in truth, we all do it when we're under our nose, right? We can't come down on a straight 10 or less degree angle like what Caleb does. We have to come in at this angle. But if you're going to come in at that angle, consider the amount of pressure that you apply to your face. Because in all honesty, if you use normal pressure and you go at it with that kind of angle, you'll be shaving your teeth. That's the way it looks. That's honestly the way it looks to me. Like, oh my gosh, when I see the dude do his thing, I'm thinking if he just pushes too hard, he's going to go right through his skin, right through it. But he doesn't. So how's it work? Well, you want to make sure that you only have enough pressure on the face that you can still just glide downward. So it's like this. There's that big extreme angle, and I'm just going to come down. You hear the cutting? It works. Now, I don't think it's as comfortable to do, and I don't think you will move as much if you are dealing with a beard that you've had for multiple days. But in my understanding of how an angle can work, pressure is the key. Now on the opposing side, one second, had to get my sponge. I like to use a sponge. On the opposing side, I'm going to show what you can do with reference to a minimal angle and pressure. So as Caleb comes in, he's nearly flush against his face. I'm going to say that, in all honesty, because the face will give and create contour to bring the apex or the actual edge of the blade against the beard, you can use more pressure. And in fact, what I'm going to do is put the spine directly on my face, and I'm going to come down with a tremendous amount of pressure that would cut into my face if I had any kind of angle. I mean, I am pressed as hard as I can without, being ridiculous against my face with the spine flush against the face. And there you go. I didn't cut myself. And that is more pressure than anybody should have to use. The last thing I want to say is that when you do this, when you're starting, make sure that when you start and you begin your first stroke, or as you engage the blade against your face, you make sure that you are able to easily come down through. If you feel a little bit of a tug when you get started, if you feel that it's not going to move, take the blade away from your face. I say back away, because that's dangerous. So you want to be able to make sure that you have the ability to glide smoothly. That pressure, the amount that you like to use, just be sure that you adjust your angle as well. So if you're going to come at a pretty steep angle, look at that first and then realize I probably want to go with a little less pressure, just enough to get that to glide down or come up in without having to engage much pushing in either direction. So that's my little tip. I hope that helps. Something to think about. I know in my case, I have this tendency to want to use a little bit more pressure than I should, especially when I'm rushed. So I make sure that if I do that, I start with a really, really reduced angle to the spine from the face. So that's it, boys and girls. Till the next time. Peace out.